Hi, this is On Imagination with a Healing Garden. This has been something that's been on my mind for a while. It was 2 years ago when I saw where I'm taking this, and it became very clear to me that war was definitely, it was inevitable. And it's something that for the last 2 years, I took a different route with to nurture and garnish peace and focus instead on education, of course, and pacifist methods that are anti-abusive and that disarm an abuser while also practicing peace. I found all of that, broke it down, threw the science together, and handed it to you. And I had a session the other day in pursuit of my power animal. And I walked away with some very significant clarity that I cannot deny. And the very first thing that I speak whenever I do anything is transparency and truth. As soon as information comes to me, I am ethically obligated to provide that information to you, so you know precisely who and what I am, so you know precisely who and where I stand, so you can make a properly informed decision as to whether or not you should or should not be siding with me. It's that simple. In order for you to make that kind of an educated decision, you have to know precisely who and what I am. I have made this very clear on my LinkedIn account. I have made this very clear what my agenda is. And now I am putting together this Lightworkers course. This course is not going to be easy. Mother Nature did not make it easy. And it is not at all a passive course. It is not something that you just do when you get around to it. If you are not committed and on board, please do not join. This is not something where, well, I'm just going to be blunt. By the time I am done with you, you are not going to need chakra stones. You are going to be a chakra stone. That's the difference. By the time I am done with you, you are not going to need any of the mediums, none of it, because you're just going to be that solid, that aligned, and that good. You are going to stand at the point of comprehension, and you will be using your own ability to measure truth and logic against Mother Nature, who you will become so familiar with that you will integrate with her and become her. That is what I teach people how to do. It is extensive. There are 36 levels of consciousness, and this is not at all discussed anywhere else in any kind of literature with any kind of comprehension that's tacked to it. This is something that is undefined and new. The levels of consciousness are a descent into the self. And of all the literature that is out there, it only talks about the first 7 of 36 trials. And you haven't even walked through the door yet. The door ends at the 10th ethical perspective. That's when you really get to see the abstract, and that's when you really start to understand that you are just scratching the surface. That's not even the first full round. There are 3 full rounds of this kind of journey. It is difficult. The first journey of the 12 ethics is defining the self. The majority of people I have spoken to are halfway through self-definition. The second part of the journey is the you of I, and it is defending the self. Just because you've carved yourself out and you know 1/3 of who you are, now you've got to learn how to defend it so that you become this solid tree of absolute full autonomy and self-authority, and you start to barely begin to feel your power. At the 3rd round, this is when you finally are permitted by Mother Nature, halfway through the 3rd round, to finally be permitted to teach. The 31st level of consciousness is when teaching is finally gifted to you by Mother Nature. When this comes to you, you gain a massive understanding at the full ethics, the tertiary level of each of these ethics, but also what you gain is a refinement of the self. You're not even at the point of comprehension yet. When you get to the point of comprehension, you have such a clear, defined knowing of who you are, and what you are born to do, that it is absolutely without question. The best way I can explain the first 12 ethics is equivalent to sleeping in the mud and trudging your way through sewage itself just to get out of a war zone. It's a cakewalk in comparison to what comes next. The second stage is literally, the only way I can define it is the valley of shadow and death. It was like I did the 12 trials of Hercules. It is the 12 trials of Hercules. That's the first round. The second round is the valley of shadow and death. Read Pilgrim's Progress. That's what awaits you. And again, that's the worst of it. The third round is absolute pure enlightenment, if you want to call it that. It's when you really truly start to get comprehension. And it's when you start to refine the self. But even then, you're still not even at the point of comprehension. When you arrive at the point of comprehension, it's when you find the rod of truth, which is metaphorical for an invisible polar rod of just pure truth, so that you can actually compare everything spoken to you to this point of logical comprehension, so you know what is true and what is not. You become completely impenetrable, impervious to lies, masks, deceit, and you gain this ability to just walk right through everything untouched. It's extraordinary. From there, you end up experiencing the expansion perspective, where your perspective grows and expands, accumulating more and more wisdom and knowledge. This stuff is highly powerful. I am looking for 144,000 light workers, and I will only be training that many. And it is all I will probably be doing for the next few decades, is just going through this process and teaching it. What you do with the knowledge after you have earned it is entirely up to you. You will know precisely what you need to do with the knowledge once it comes to you. That is for you and Mother Nature to discuss. My job is just to train you and nothing more. This is not to be taken lightly. If you are up to the challenge, by all means, join us. I anticipate 2 years maximum. I anticipate 2 years. You can, well, I'll be blunt, come as you are. There's no requirements. You just need to be understanding of what is going to be required of you, and that this is not for the faint of heart. You're going to be put through every pilgrimage, every ethical evaluation, and it's not me, it's Mother Nature. My job is just to turn you over to her, and I just guide you along that path to show you how. Mother Nature's #1 rule is learning, growing, and pushing yourself to the next level. If you're comfortable in life, you have failed. Truth. If you are cozy and you haven't grown in 6 months or a year, you have failed. If you aren't constantly pushing yourself to expand your mind to the next level, you have failed. How long have you been in the mental perspective where you still are? According to Mother Nature, she wants you there absolutely no less than 6 months. The purpose of the ethics is to grow, to evolve, to expand your mind, to integrate it. This is not a stagnant, simple process. This is constant, continual work. We use physics, so it's easier. And once you learn how to do it and you train your mind with mental diversification, it does become habitual. It becomes so integrated on an intuitive level that it does simplify. It is easy after a while, and it just becomes second nature to you. But then you start to understand that a growing mind is the only mind that is ethical. So really ask yourself this question: how long have you been in the same mindset? 5 years? 10 years? That is unethical, because Mother Nature's first 3 laws of her ethics are: you grow or you disintegrate. That's how the mind works, and it's what it was built for. Take what I'm saying. Think about it. It's not a light decision. I will push you. Thank you so much, and may the kindest of words always find you.